Hey everyone, it's Courtney. I do everything pregnancy, motherhood, and lifestyle on a budget on this channel. So if you like those types of videos, make sure you give this one a thumbs up and that you are subscribed. Today we're going to be going over my 31 and 32 week pregnancy update. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to talk about is cravings. I have honestly not had really any cravings the last couple of weeks, and I'll tell you why. I have been so extremely nauseous. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what's causing it. It's probably just one of those weird pregnancy things, but again, I don't remember experiencing this in my first pregnancy. So basically, I've just been eating because I have to, not necessarily because I want to. On top of that, I'm starting to realize that certain foods are really irritating my stomach and just giving me heartburn or just making me super nauseous, or to the point where I feel like I'm going to throw up. Just eating it just makes me that sick. And I've kind of noticed that with like dairy and gluten. And for those of you who don't know, I do have celiac disease, so I am very aware of like what my body does when I have gluten. So it just seems like it's flared up a lot lately, and I don't know if it's pregnancy or what. I've just been really aware of what I've been putting into my body recently, just so I'm not feeling sick all the time. But with that said, Thanksgiving was about a week ago, and I went up to my dad's house in Oklahoma and spent it there. And my stepmom made this homemade Arnold Palmer that was absolutely delicious. If you watched any of my previous bump updates, you'll know that I am a hardcore Arnold Palmer fan, regardless of being pregnant. So I probably consumed mostly that than water. I know that's probably not the best thing for you, but I was just in heaven. It was so good. And then on top of that, we had apple pie, and there was this vanilla bean ice cream from Brahms. I think it's in like Texas, in some parts of Texas, but in Oklahoma as well. It's like a fresh market ice cream kind of place. Anyways, you can get like tubs of ice cream from there, and their vanilla bean with that warm apple pie was so good. So those are like two things I definitely indulged in and absolutely loved over Thanksgiving. And I had mentioned, I think in my previous bump update, that I was looking forward to driving up there because we were going to be able to go to Buc-ee's. It's essentially this massive gas station in Texas that a beaver is like the mascot of it, and it's just super popular. They have a lot of good food. They have a lot of good barbecue, and I quickly became a fan when we moved here. I specifically love their beaver nuggets as well as their banana pudding, and I got both of those on the way up as well as on the way back to Texas. On our way back, we were going to stop at the Silos in Waco. We've been there before, and unfortunately with the weather and timing and everything like that, we weren't able to stop this time because I have been dreaming about their cupcakes at their bakery. If you haven't tried it, it is worth booking a ticket, flying down, driving, whatever it is, to just try their cupcakes. They are so good. And crazy enough, we stopped in Austin to see one of Tim's friends and his girlfriend, and as soon as I got out of the car, they had a thing with cupcakes in it for us from Magnolia, and we hadn't even mentioned that we were wanting to stop there. So that was definitely a God thing, and it just satisfied my pregnancy craving so much. So I would say that was probably my only like cravings that I've had the last couple weeks. Again, I'm just trying to like watch what I'm putting into my body, just because I've noticed that it's just causing a lot of symptoms that are just really uncomfortable. The next thing I want to talk about is symptoms. My number one new symptom has been heartburn. I didn't really experience that in my first pregnancy, but I did experience it at one point. I just don't think it happened as frequently as I'm having it right now. And I have been so miserable. It usually happens in the evening time. I've kind of stopped having like a late night snack before bed. I had previously talked about that in a video where I had been waking up in the middle of the night extremely hungry. So I'd be eating, you know, a granola bar or just something right before I went to bed, and that usually helped. So I've cut back on doing that, especially since the heartburn started setting in. And if anyone's had that, it's just super uncomfortable, especially when you're trying to sleep. You can't really lay down. It's just burning, and it just is the worst. So I'm definitely battling that right now. I'm not really getting much sleep anyways. I'm still not really getting much sleep. I think I look forward to going to bed, but I dread it the most out of the day, if that makes sense. It's just so draining on my body. I'm up constantly having to go to the bathroom. My belly's getting bigger, so getting in and out of our bed is getting a lot more difficult. And then on top of that, I'm extremely thirsty in the middle of the night. I have this really big hydro flask, and I fill it up before bed, and I have it pretty much empty by the morning. Every time I get up to go to the bathroom, I just take like 3 or 4 sips, and I do that throughout the entire night, and by the morning I'm pretty much done with my entire water bottle. So at first I was kind of not drinking as much water at nighttime just because I didn't want to be up peeing as much, but I noticed it didn't really matter if I was drinking water or not, I was up peeing. So I figured I might as well just stay hydrated if I'm already going to be up anyways. But yeah, I've seen a very big increase in my thirst as well as a decrease in my appetite. And another thing that I've noticed too is I've been getting a lot of Braxton Hicks. I'm actually currently having one right now. I didn't have as many of these with my first pregnancy, or it's one of those things where I just didn't realize that's what was happening. And I will say again, at nighttime it seems like it's a lot worse, especially if I'm like sitting or laying down. This is at night or throughout the day, and then I get up. It just seems like my stomach instantly just gets really hard, and I almost pee my pants probably every single time as well. And yeah, it's just gotten very, very uncomfortable. They've just been happening a lot more frequently, and I was reassured that this is completely normal at this point, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm just trying to take it easy and just do really slow movements so I don't actually pee my pants. Another big symptom that I've been having is swelling and cramping and just all sorts of uncomfortableness, especially in my legs. I talked about this in my last bump video, but I feel like it's gotten a million times worse. I thought maybe starting to drink water in the middle of the night would help, but I just wake up with my foot cramping or my calves, or just like in my thighs, I have this feeling like my nerves are just being squeezed as hard as possible. And again, I haven't really experienced this very much, but it's getting to the point where it's just painful to just sit. It's painful to go on walks. It's just overall just painful all the time. So I am going to be bringing this up again to my midwife when I see her next week and see if there's something going on that's not normal. Again, I know staying hydrated is like the biggest key with anything in pregnancy, so I have been doing my best to do that. So again, I'm not really sure what's going on. So if you guys have any idea or any like tips and tricks just to like soothe my like cramps at least just a little bit, because at nighttime I feel bad for my husband. I'm just like restless leg, like kicking, and just I can't get comfortable. So if you have any tips at all, please comment those down below. Another big thing that I noticed is that laying down is like the only comfortable position I can be in. I kind of talked about that in my last video, but now it's to the point where I could just sit on the couch and I have to like be in the perfect position with like my arm up a certain way to just be like any way kind of comfortable. So just like being in bed and laying down, like usually on my left side, is the most comfortable I can be. But if you have a toddler, you know that you're constantly like getting up, you're moving around, you're catering to them, you're bending over, and it just really takes a toll on your body, especially if you're already uncomfortable. So I'm just trying to give myself grace and just trying to like rest as much as I can throughout the day, especially like when she's napping or anything like that. I just take advantage of my relaxing time just because I'm really trying to listen to my body and not overdo it, and there's no reason for me to overdo it. So yeah, if anybody has any tips and tricks on that as well, just different ways to get comfortable. Like I can't even really like lay back, like this is super uncomfortable. And yeah, overall I'm just very uncomfortable. I don't mean to complain about all of my symptoms. I feel like that's kind of what the theme is this last couple weeks, but it's just getting to that end point where it's just getting really uncomfortable. So now for some life updates. I did mention that we went up to Oklahoma for Thanksgiving, and it was such an incredible experience. We hadn't been up there since April, and for those of you who don't know, we spent most of when quarantine started up there. So my daughter is just like very comfortable up there. They basically live on like a vineyard, and there's just tons of acreage, and we are able to take the RV with us, and there's like a pond, and she could just run around and we don't have to worry about it. And it's just such a peaceful, relaxing place to be. And our daughter, who's 19 months old, is definitely going through like, you know, a growing phase. I just think there's always like a phase that they're going through. And just going up there just totally changed her attitude. She just completely relaxed. She zenned out. And it was so nice to just see her like interact with everybody. And yeah, overall it was just such an incredible experience. It was so nice to be able to spend the holidays with them, because I haven't been able to do that in like over 10 years. So that was just an incredible experience. I hope you all had an amazing Thanksgiving as well. And like I mentioned, we did bring the RV, and we have not been in the RV in probably 6 months since we've moved into this house. It's crazy to think that we used to live in there full time, and then now we're only in there like maybe once every 6 months. And it just brought us back to like the simpler times, and it was just nice to be like present. Even though it was a quick trip, we actually ended up leaving the RV up there, since we're going to be heading back up there in probably 10 days or so for Christmas. So we just figured we'd just leave it up there for, you know, the few weeks we were going to be down here. But it was just so nice being back in the RV, so nice being back in that rhythm. I definitely miss it. I think it could be my pregnancy talking, but I definitely like am in nesting mode. So just being in that familiar, comforting spot was just amazing. And I'm already looking forward to being back in the RV come Christmas time. So we were able to bring our four-wheeler, and Finley loves just putting around with Dad, you know, on that. And it was just nice to get back in the swing of things of how they used to be before we moved into a house. Another thing too, our daughter slept amazing up there. She slept until like 9. Normally she's up around 6:37, and she was taking like 2-3 hour long naps when normally she takes like 45 minutes to an hour naps. It was just such a big shift from what we're used to, and she's such a good little traveler, so we knew that she was going to be fine in that sense. But yeah, it was just nice to see her get some extra sleep that she normally doesn't get. So while we were up there, Black Friday happened, and I specifically waited to get anything that we needed for this baby and like our registry for Black Friday. I did a lot of research beforehand on like what was going to be on sale, what percentage, at what time. I mean, I did a lot of research, so I am planning on doing a video of like everything I got and what percentages I got off, and if those are still going to be active or not, I will share that as well, just to kind of help you save some money if you are looking to buy stuff for your baby or you are creating a registry right now. So like I said, it is getting harder to like kind of maneuver, to like bend over or to do too many things. I'm mentally like go, 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 but physically I'm just slowing down, and I'm just accepting that. So what I've been doing on my to-do list for the day is putting like one major thing that I want to get done around the house on that list, and then getting that one thing done. And then if I have energy and time to do other stuff, I will, but at least it gives me like one task that I need to get done. And it seems to just really help me, you know, stay motivated, but also feel like I'm accomplishing something without overdoing it. So I've also noticed that my emotions have just been a lot higher. I feel like I'm having a lot of issues with the doctor side of things. If you've kept up at all, you know how much of a nightmare that's been, and the silver lining is just not there yet. So I'm just trying to like pray about it and just be really patient and understanding and trusting right now. But it's just getting closer to my due date, and things are still not happening or getting done, and it's just been a whirlwind of emotions. And I think that's just kind of catching up with me, because that's one thing, you know, when you're pregnant, you shouldn't have to stress and worry about, you know, your delivery and your doctor and anything like that. And I just feel like I'm in that situation. So I'm just hoping and praying the next couple weeks things just kind of even out and I don't have to worry about that. And along with that, my daughter is about to not be the only one in the family. And I think that's just kind of like hitting me a little bit harder, just like going through all the motions of, you know, this pregnancy and getting ready for baby number 2, and realizing that, you know, I'm not doing it all over again with my first one. And that might sound kind of weird or a little bit selfish, but it just seems weird that I'm not like giving birth to her again, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm just trying to really embrace the moments I have with her before baby comes, but also, you know, getting excited and getting prepared for this one to come as well. So So yeah, I just think there's just a lot of emotions going on, and again, that's completely normal in pregnancy. I'm just not one to normally get very emotional, so I'm just trying to, you know, embrace it and not like read too much into it. But yeah, overall, I'm just super excited for the holidays. My brother and his wife are going to be coming down to Oklahoma for Christmas. So this is going to be like our first Christmas with my brother and I and my dad, and again, like 13 years. So I'm just super excited for us to all be together. I'm going to be 37 weeks pregnant during that time. So I'm going to definitely be keeping it easy and hopefully not go into labor. And yeah, I'm just super excited. I have a lot of fun videos coming up, so make sure again you are subscribed so you don't miss any of those. Without further ado, let's do a bump shot. And I would like to point out that I'm still not in maternity clothes. I have been rocking like the sweats and everything like that, and my normal jeans still fit like under my belly. I guess she's just sitting up high enough to where I can just wear my normal jeans. But I will admit that like my medium and small shirts don't cover my belly completely, or they're just super tight. So I have been kind of resorting to like larges, like my husband's side of the closet, for like t-shirts or just like comfy loungewear. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!